What if the person who collapses in your arms at midnight, drunk, shaking, and wearing a white dress, is the same person who once destroyed your life without ever knowing your name? What if the single dad who lifts her from the rain has no idea that her secret will break him harder than the night he lost everything? And what if fate didn't bring her to him for saving, but for remembering? You're watching Dad and Fate. Before we begin, hit subscribe. Because some stories don't just touch your heart, they repair the cracks no one else sees. Now, let's return to the night Maya Alvarez, the woman in the white dress, fell into Ryan's arms. The rain had just begun. Soft, silver, the kind that makes the whole world slow down. Streetlights blurred into halos. The city felt tired, like it wanted to sleep but didn't know how. Ryan Cole had just closed his repair shop. He locked the door, zipped his jacket, and thought about one thing: getting home before his daughter Aria fell asleep. He was a quiet man, a man who moved carefully through life now, the way people do after they've been broken once. But then he saw her, a woman in a white dress stumbling out of the glass tower across the street. She took 2 steps, then crumpled to the ground like her bones had turned to dust. He ran before he even thought. By the time he reached her, rain had soaked her dress completely. The fabric clung to her like a memory that didn't want to let go. Her hair stuck to her face, her breath was sharp and uneven, and her hands trembled violently. "Maya," he whispered, recognizing the face through the blur of rain. Maya Alvarez, CEO of Alvarez Global, his boss. A woman whose signature could raise or ruin 100 lives before breakfast. But tonight, she looked nothing like that. Tonight she looked small, fragile, human. She tried to stand. Her ankle twisted, and she almost fell again. Ryan caught her. "It's okay. You're safe." Her fingers clutched his jacket like she was drowning. "Please, don't leave," she whispered. "Not tonight." Her voice wasn't drunk. It was broken. He lifted her carefully into his arms. She sagged against him, her cheek brushing his shoulder, her dress cold against his chest. "You shouldn't help me," she breathed weakly. "Why not?" Her answer froze him where he stood. "Because I ruined someone's life tonight." Ryan's heart punched against his ribs. "And I think I hurt someone connected to you." He stopped walking. "What did you just say?" But she didn't answer. Her eyes rolled back, her body going limp in his arms. She fainted. Ryan swallowed hard. Was it the alcohol speaking, or was it the truth she'd been running from all night? He carried her to his truck as the rain softened to a quiet whisper. The street went still, waiting, listening. He gently buckled her in place. Then she whispered something in her sleep, so soft he almost missed it. "I'm sorry, Ryan." His blood went cold. "How do you know my name?" he whispered. No answer. She was gone, buried in sleep or guilt or something darker. Ryan stepped back, breath shaking, because this wasn't a random moment. This wasn't bad luck. This wasn't just a drunk CEO collapsing in the rain. This was a thread of fate tightening. 3 years ago, someone else had whispered a sentence just like hers, right before Ryan's entire world collapsed. He looked at Maya, the woman in the white dress, and something inside him knew. The past he had buried wasn't dead. It was waking up. And somehow, this woman was part of the reason. He closed the truck door slowly. Rain tapped the roof like a heartbeat, and Ryan understood one thing. Saving her tonight might be the one thing that destroys him tomorrow. The rain stopped by the time Ryan pulled into the small parking lot behind Maya's luxury apartment tower. The city hummed quietly, lights reflecting off the wet pavement like broken stars. Maya was still unconscious, her white dress clinging to her like it remembered the fall even if she didn't. Ryan stepped around the truck and lifted her carefully. She felt lighter now, like the night had hollowed her out. He carried her through the private lobby, marble floors, glass walls, security systems that were supposed to keep powerful people safe. But tonight, none of it had protected her. Her head rested against his shoulder, breath warm but uneven. Halfway to her elevator, she stirred. "Where am I?" she whispered. "With me," Ryan said gently. "You collapsed. I brought you home. Her eyes fluttered open, glassy, confused, embarrassed. My home, she breathed. Why? Why didn't you call someone else? Because no one else came, he said simply. Her lashes lowered. Of course they didn't. He carried her into the elevator. The soft lights made her look even more fragile. A CEO dressed in white, soaked, shaking, and stripped of the armor the world believed she always wore. She looked up at him suddenly. You shouldn't be the one holding me, she murmured. I shouldn't be. Like this. You're human, he said. That's allowed. She gave a broken laugh that wasn't really a laugh at all. You don't know me, Ryan. He met her eyes. You said my name. She blinked, startled. Did I? Yes. She had whispered it like a confession. The elevator doors opened. Ryan carried her inside the penthouse. Soft lights, pristine walls, silence that felt too big for one person. He laid her gently on the couch. Maya sat up slowly, brushing wet hair back, eyes darting everywhere except his face. Then the panic hit. She pressed a hand to her forehead. What did I say earlier? In the rain. You said, Ryan answered carefully, that you ruined someone's life tonight. Her breathing halted. Her entire body went still. And you said, he added, voice low, you might have hurt someone connected to me. The room became a held breath. Maya looked away, her eyes filling. I didn't want you to hear that. Not like this. Then tell me the truth, Ryan said. Fully conscious, fully aware. She swallowed hard. Her voice broke. There's a reason I was drinking tonight. A truth I found out hours ago. And I didn't know how to live with it. What truth? She looked at him. Really looked. And he saw it. Guilt so deep it lived inside her like another heartbeat. Ryan, someone filed an old report this afternoon. A case from 3 years ago. A logistics driver who caused a fatal accident. He wasn't supposed to be hired. He wasn't supposed to be on the road. But someone approved him anyway. Ryan's breath caught. Static filled his ears. The air thickened. Maya, he said quietly, what are you saying? She wiped her cheek with trembling fingers. I'm saying the signature on that approval was mine. Ryan's world tilted. He sank onto the opposite chair, heart pounding in slow, heavy beats. He couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Maya continued in a whisper. I didn't know him. I didn't know he had a prior DUI. I signed the clearance in a rush during restructuring. I thought HR had verified everything. They hadn't. Ryan stared at her. His palms were cold. And you said, he forced out, that he hurt someone connected to me. Maya held her breath. Ryan, the fatality in that accident was your brother. Silence, long, sharp, deadly. The room seemed to shrink around him. Ryan felt something crack inside. Not loudly, but deeply. My brother, he whispered. My brother? Maya broke down. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know until today. I saw his name in the old report, Michael Cole, and she shook, choking on the words. I realized what I had signed, what I let happen, what I can't take back. Ryan stood up slowly, hands shaking so badly he clenched them into fists just to stay grounded. You're telling me, he said in a voice he barely recognized, that my brother died because you didn't read a file? Because you were too busy? Too distracted? She covered her mouth, sobbing. Ryan, please. I'm so sorry. I wish I could undo it. I wish I could go back. I didn't know. He stared at her, the woman in the white dress, drowning in guilt on her own couch. And for the first time that night, he understood why she collapsed, why she begged him not to leave, why she whispered apologies in the rain. She had been carrying a truth heavy enough to break her, but it was nothing compared to what it did to him. Ryan stepped back, then back again. He felt the old pain, the one he buried so deep it became a scar, rise from the ground like a ghost. He looked at her one last time. You destroyed my family, he whispered, and I carried you home. Maya cried harder, shaking, pleading, but her voice felt far away. Ryan walked toward the door, not running, not angry, just broken. You should sleep, he said quietly. Then he left the apartment, closing the door behind him with a soft click. Outside, the rain started again. The night breathed cold air onto his skin, and Ryan Cole, the man who saved her, realized he now carried a truth heavy enough to destroy him too. Ryan didn't go home right away. He sat in his truck for nearly an hour, hands gripping the wheel, breathing like the air was too heavy to pull into his lungs. The rain hit the windshield in soft waves, blurry and endless. The same rhythm as the night his brother died. The same rhythm as tonight. He leaned his forehead against the steering wheel. His brother, Michael Cole. Gone because a driver who never should have been hired was put behind a wheel. And the signature that approved that mistake belonged to the woman he had just carried in his arms. Maya Alvarez, the woman in the white dress. The woman who whispered his name like a confession. The woman who ruined him without knowing it, and now knew the truth she'd been avoiding all night. He finally drove home just before dawn. Aria was asleep on the couch, curled up with her blanket and the TV still on low. She always waited for him, even when he asked her not to. Ryan gently lifted her, kissed her forehead, and tucked her into bed. Her tiny fingers clutched his shirt for a moment, like she knew something was wrong. "Daddy?" she whispered sleepily. "You okay?" Ryan forced a small smile. "Yeah, baby, go back to sleep." But when she closed her eyes, his own vision blurred. He turned away quickly before she saw the tears he couldn't hold back. Not tonight. He stayed awake until the sun came up, sitting at the dining table, staring at nothing. Maya's words kept replaying, each one cutting deeper. "I ruined someone's life tonight. I think I hurt someone connected to you. The signature was mine. Michael Cole, your brother." Ryan whispered the name to himself, as if speaking it would somehow make the memory kinder. It didn't. By mid-morning, he forced himself to shower, change, pack Arya's lunch, take her to school. Life didn't stop just because pain arrived. Fathers don't get that luxury. But the moment he walked back into his empty shop, the silence pinned him like a weight. He grabbed a wrench, tried to work, tried to fix something, anything, but his hands shook too hard. Then the shop door opened quietly. It was Maya, not dressed in power, not dressed in control, but in a simple white sweater and jeans, hair tied back, eyes swollen from crying. She looked smaller than last night, softer, human in a way he wasn't ready for. Ryan stepped back. He didn't want to see her. Not today, maybe not ever. She stood at the doorway, hands clasped. "I know I shouldn't be here," she said softly. "I know I'm the last person you want to see. But I needed to." Ryan didn't speak. Maya swallowed hard. "You saved my life last night, and I destroyed yours years ago. I don't have the right to ask for anything, but I'm here anyway." He tightened his jaw. "What do you want?" "To explain," she whispered. "There's nothing to explain, Maya. You said what mattered." But she stepped closer, voice trembling. "You deserve the full truth, not the half-truth I gave while drunk and falling apart." Ryan turned away. "I don't need more pain." She flinched at the words. "I know," she said, "but we can't heal what we refuse to face." He didn't answer, so she continued quietly. "That day, the day Michael died, the company didn't just hire a bad driver. There was something else, something hidden, something worse." Ryan looked sharply at her without meaning to. Maya took a shaky breath. "The driver wasn't just cleared by mistake. He was recommended." "Recommended by who?" Ryan's voice sharpened like a blade. Maya hesitated, then said it. "By my father." The name hit the air like a thunderclap. Her father, the original founder of the company, a ruthless man known for profits, not people. "He pushed the approval through," she whispered. "He demanded we cut checks, skip screenings, rush hires. I never knew why. Not until today." Ryan's voice was tight. "Why?" Maya's throat closed, eyes filling again. "Because the driver owed him money. My father forced him back behind the wheel. He ignored every warning, and I signed the clearance because I trusted him." Ryan stared at her, breath gone. She continued, voice breaking. "When my father died last year, I inherited everything. The company, the decisions, the consequences. And today when I saw the file and your brother's name, I realized I wasn't carrying my father's success. Her voice trembled violently. I was carrying his sins. Ryan stepped back, chest tight. Maya wiped a tear. I can't undo it. I can't bring Michael back, but I can try to make things right for you, for Arya, for your family. At the mention of Arya's name, something inside Ryan cracked. How do you know her name? I asked HR this morning, Maya whispered. I wanted to understand who you were, the man who saved me, the man I wronged without knowing. He didn't know whether to shout or break. Then Maya did something unexpected. She reached into her bag and pulled out a folded envelope. This, she said, is everything. A report proving my father pressured the approval, records of every screening skipped, legal grounds for compensation, for justice, for closure. Ryan didn't move. She placed the envelope on the table and stepped back. I don't want forgiveness, she whispered. I just want to stop living in the shadow of what my father did, and I want you to have what was stolen from you. Ryan's vision blurred. Maya wiped her cheek silently. And if you never want to see me again after this, I'll disappear from your life tonight. Ryan closed his eyes, but before he could speak, the shop door opened again. Daddy? Arya stood there, holding her school notebook, smiling until she saw Maya and the tears in his eyes. Her smile faded. Ryan quickly wiped his face. Hey, sweetheart, what are you doing here? Forgot my art homework, she said softly, looking between them. Maya took a tiny step back, as if she didn't want to contaminate the space between father and daughter. But Arya, sweet, fearless Arya, walked straight to Maya and gently tugged her sleeve. Are you okay? She asked with childlike honesty. You look like you need a hug. Maya froze. No one had hugged her in years. Not without wanting something. Not without pretending. Ryan swallowed hard, watching. Arya opened her arms. Maya fell to her knees and hugged her, silently shaking, breaking in the arms of the one soul who carried no blame and no past. And in that moment, something shifted. Something fate had been trying to repair since the night Michael died. Ryan felt it too. Not forgiveness, not peace, but the first crack of light after years of darkness. Maya didn't let go of Arya for a long time. Her hands trembled as she held the little girl, the way someone holds a lifeline they didn't know they needed. Arya hugged her with the simple, unfiltered kindness that only children still understand. The kind adults forget after too many disappointments. When Maya pulled back, her eyes were swollen, but softer than Ryan had ever seen. I'm sorry, she whispered to the little girl. For what? Arya asked, confused. For being someone who forgot how to be human. Ryan looked away, jaw tight. He wasn't ready to soften. Not yet. Arya climbed into his arms, resting her head on his shoulder. Daddy, don't be sad. He closed his eyes because those words always landed deeper than they should. Maya stood up slowly, wiping her face. Ryan, I won't stay. I just wanted you to have the documents, the truth, and whatever compensation the lawyers say you deserve. It won't fix anything, but... He cut her off. Money won't bring my brother back. I know, she whispered. That's why I'm not just offering money. She reached into her bag again and placed a small box on his work table. Open it, she said. Ryan opened it reluctantly. Inside was a key card. He frowned. What's this? The empty office on the third floor at headquarters, the one with the glass walls overlooking the river. She hesitated. I want it to be a program space, a foundation, in your brother's name, to train drivers, rehabilitate them, prevent what happened to him from happening to anyone else. Ryan's stomach tightened. You want me to run it? He asked. Maya shook her head. No, she said softly. I want you to own it. Ryan's breath stalled. Maya, why? Her eyes filled again, but this time not with guilt, with purpose. Because the man I watched last night, the man who carried me through the rain, is the kind of person I wish had been there to stop my father from the decisions he made. She swallowed. And also because I need to build something good out of the rubble he left me. Ryan placed the key card back into the box. He didn't reject it, but he didn't accept it either. He just breathed, quietly, deeply, painfully. Maya stepped back. I'll leave now. I don't expect forgiveness. Her voice cracked. I didn't want to disappear before you knew I was trying. She turned toward the door, but stopped. Ryan, you didn't deserve what happened to your family, and to have been the one who carried me last night after everything I unknowingly caused. She exhaled sharply. You're a better person than I've ever been. She didn't wait for a reply. She walked out slowly, like each step was a negotiation with gravity. Ryan stayed still until the door closed behind her. Arya touched his cheek. Daddy, she's sad. Ryan nodded. I know, baby. Are you mad at her? He didn't answer, because he didn't know. He only knew that his heart was full of grief, anger, understanding, confusion, and something he couldn't name. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. He lay awake on the couch while Arya slept peacefully beside him. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Maya's face from the night before. Soaked in rain, whispering his name, collapsing in his arms. And he saw her today, apologizing, breaking, offering him a way to turn tragedy into purpose. He hated the connection. He hated the timing. He hated that fate had tied them together in ways neither one chose. But he couldn't lie to himself. Part of him felt the truth behind her eyes. Part of him believed she wasn't her father. Part of him recognized how shattered she had been long before she fell in the rain. And that part kept him awake the longest. The next morning, Ryan drove Arya to school. On his way back, he passed the corporate tower where Maya worked. He wasn't planning to stop, but he saw her standing outside the building, not dressed like a CEO, not surrounded by assistants. Just a woman in a white coat, holding a folder close to her chest, looking like she was waiting for something she didn't believe would come. Their eyes met. She didn't wave. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She just looked at him, the way someone looks at a person they owe something to, but don't know how to repay. Ryan parked his truck slowly. He stepped out. She took a breath like she was preparing to be rejected. He walked up to her, close enough to see the fear in her eyes. Maya, she swallowed. Ryan, I didn't think you would. I'm not saying yes, he said. Not to anything. Not yet. She nodded. I understand. But I'm not saying no either. Her breath hitched. Hope flickered. Tiny, scared, real. Ryan looked at the folder she was holding. What's that? She held it out with shaking hands. Everything I didn't tell you last night. The full file, the investigation, the truth about what my father covered up. The letters from the driver, his apologies, his relapse reports, everything. He took it. Not gently, but not angrily either. Just honestly. Maya took a step back. I want to earn the right to fix what my family broke, but I know I can't do that unless you let me. Ryan stared at her. You don't build redemption in a day, he said softly. I know. You don't wash grief off with money. I know. And you don't fix guilt by giving away offices. Maya lowered her head. I know, Ryan, but I want to try. Whatever way you'll let me. A long, heavy silence settled between them. Then Ryan said two words she didn't expect. Walk with me. Maya looked up slowly. Where? He didn't answer. He just started walking. And she followed. Not as CEO and employee, not as sinner and victim, not as destroyer and destroyed, but as two people with grief in their pockets and fate's thread pulling them forward. This is your last part. Easy copy-paste, full emotional weight, dad and fate tone, fate plus redemption, plus rain light. Ryan didn't plan the walk. He just followed the road without thinking, letting his feet choose what his heart wasn't sure of. Maya walked beside him slowly, the morning air cold, her breath small and careful, like she didn't want to disturb the space between them. They walked past the river, past the old market, past streets Ryan used to take when his brother was still alive. The silence between them wasn't painful this time. It was honest, heavy, real. Finally, they reached the old pedestrian bridge, the one Ryan avoided for years because it reminded him too much of that night. He stopped in the center, staring at the water below. Maya stopped too. "You brought me here for a reason," she whispered. Ryan rested his hands on the rail. "I used to come here after the accident. This was the last place we talked, me and my brother." Maya's eyes softened. "What did you talk about?" Ryan exhaled slowly. "Life, plans, stupid things. He joked that if anything ever happened to him, I better take care of Arya like she was made of gold." He paused. "I didn't know it would be the last thing he ever said." Maya lowered her head, her breath shaking. "I'm sorry, Ryan," she whispered. "I'll be sorry for the rest of my life." He didn't answer right away. The truth needed space to breathe. After a long silence, Ryan spoke again. "You didn't drive the car that hit him." "No," she whispered. "But I put the man who did behind the wheel." Ryan nodded. "That's what I've been fighting with." Maya closed her eyes. "If you hate me, I'll understand." Ryan took a long, steady breath. "I don't hate you." Maya's eyes opened, confused, fragile. "You don't?" "No." He shook his head. "I don't hate people who try to fix what they broke." Her lips trembled. "But I can't fix this." "No," Ryan said quietly. "You can't fix the past, but you can fix what comes after." Maya looked at the river, tears gathering again. "And what comes after?" Ryan turned fully toward her. "That's up to you." She swallowed. "And you?" He hesitated, not out of anger, but out of truth. "I'm not ready to forgive. Not yet." Her shoulders fell, but she nodded. "But," he added, "I'm willing to try, one step at a time." Maya looked up slowly, hope flickering in her eyes like a candle trying to stay lit. "Why?" she whispered. "After everything, after the pain, why would you even try?" The wind brushed between them. A quiet moment stretched, deep and tender. Ryan looked at the sky, the clouds rolling in again, soft and gray, then back at her. "Because someone once helped me," he said softly, "when I thought I didn't deserve it." Maya's breath caught, her eyes filled. "And now," Ryan continued, stepping closer, "maybe it's my turn not to walk away." At that moment, a light drizzle began, small drops pattering gently on the bridge, the same kind of rain that started everything between them. Maya closed her eyes as the rain touched her face, washing over her like a quiet truth. She whispered, "Do you ever think fate tries again when it gets something wrong the first time?" Ryan looked at her, the rain soft between them. "Yeah," he said. "I think sometimes fate sends you back to the same storm, to show you you're not alone this time." Maya breathed out a shaky smile, the first real one he'd ever seen from her. They stood there, two people broken in different ways, stitched together by tragedy, guilt, kindness, and something the world rarely gives: a second chance. The rain fell a little harder, turning her white coat a shade darker. Without speaking, Ryan reached into his truck, grabbed an umbrella and held it over both of them. Maya looked up at him. The question came naturally, soft, unsteady, full of the vulnerability she never showed anyone. "Why did you help me that night, when I didn't deserve it?" Ryan didn't look at the rain. He didn't look at the water. He looked only at her. "Because someone once helped me," he whispered again. "And saving you felt like finally saving a part of him too." Maya's eyes filled. A tear slid down her cheek, mixing with the rain. Ryan stepped closer, not forgiving, not forgetting, but choosing the direction of his next breath. "Let's go," he said gently. "We've got a lot to rebuild." And with the umbrella above them and the rain washing the old pain from the air, they walked together, not as boss and employee, not as victim and cause, but as two people fate refused to let break permanently. Some storms tear lives apart. Some storms bring people home. Some storms give you back the pieces you lost. This one did all three.